Hey y'all, it's Jenifer Duguay with Remax Space Center, and I'm here with you today on the community shout out. And today's featured guest is a very well-respected man in the Pearland community, Sasha Costa, and he actually is one of the owner, or is the owner of the Media Heroes. So, hey Sasha, how are you today?
Hi Jenifer, I am well. Thank you so much for having me on this call. This is great, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm honored, and I can't wait to, talk about everything that we have planned. How's business for you?
Business is not bad. It's a little slow with the COVID-19 stuff. Some of our clients actually had to, close doors. We have a lot of doctors that we work with, a lot of spas, and different places where they actually had to close doors because of the COVID situation. But we are still talking about marketing, because if you don't market, you die. So we're talking about how to stay alive in this during this pandemic, and how to come back, because as we know, business is about to open again soon.
That's right. It sure is. And, I think right now, many of us have been, discussing how, because of everything and transitioning into a more virtual world,
Right.
as we are in businesses. I mean, you've been doing it a while, since you obviously own a media, company. So the, transition for the rest of us has been, new, and, we really had to understand and learn how to do it pretty much overnight. I know when I, started to do this show, I literally learned how to do a live broadcast 45 minutes before I went live. So it's forced me to step out of my comfort zone and try something new. And I'm so glad I did, because I have got to meet amazing people and, really help them, get the brand awareness and the exposure they need for their businesses, because it's so important for, local small businesses to survive. And I want to see everyone succeed. And so, again, I'm just so excited. So tell me how, even though you're already, pretty, knowledgeable in the tech world, how has, COVID-19 affected your business, and how have you been able to pivot?
Okay. So first of all, I just want to give you some props, because you just told us that you learned within 45 minutes and you started doing this.
Yeah.
So the first thing is just that you did it. You took action. You weren't just sitting in the corner, in the sidelines and not doing anything. And this looks super professional. Look at this background. Look at you with everything, and you got the scrolling text. Who does this? Look at you. This is great.
Well, I guess when you have passion, right? When you know your why.
Yes.
That's part of it, right?
So yes. So as far as sharing some information, right now is not the time not to do anything. If you have to close doors and you can't go to the office, you still need to be pumping out content. Keep people thinking about you. Keep them wondering, hey, when is so and so coming? If you own a med spa, or if you do hair, or if I know a friend, one of my friends from the Chamber of Commerce, Letty, she owns Elements Massage, right? And it's a membership-based thing. So you have to keep your membership thinking about you. If you're a med spa, you got to keep them thinking about you. So Dr. Chaudhry, for example, one of my clients, you have to keep them thinking about you. So the secret is pumping out content and keep them engaged with you. It's not a one-way conversation. It's a two-way conversation. Like you said, you have to know your why. So keep them talking to you.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's so important. And, so is there anything new that you've implemented, to really help maybe your clients that you already, help and do their, whether it's their YouTube pages or videos and, all of those items?
Right. So I have talked to some clients about, actually, instead of cutting back on certain things, is actually spending more on social ads. Right. So, and then get creative with some of the things. So a lot of people, they're going to have to change a little bit on the things that they do. They may have to add some more services to the repertoire of what they already have, but promote that and make sure that reaches a wider audience. And for example, my sister, when she was going to college, she gave tennis lessons. Now is the time that you can do tennis lessons online. right? And you can charge for those classes. I have clients who have martial arts academies. So right now you can create entire classes of martial arts classes online, and you can sell that. You can give away a lot of content, but you can sell that as well. And you don't have to discount. Do not think that just because you're doing it online, that it should cost less. Provide content, make sure that people get more than what they're paying for, but it doesn't mean that you have to discount. I think that the more you put out there, you can still do some really smart things.
Yes, I agree 100%. And that's, for me, one of the reasons why I started this, well, my goal, and I have to tell you, I have a real fear of doing live video. However, once I was, so I really focused on my why, which is helping my community.
Awesome.
I completely forgot about my fear and just ran with it. But, some of the other things that I've started doing is, maybe seems silly to some, but I've read several articles about TikTok and, how it's, how we should be using it to brand our businesses. And, it's here to stay. And it's kind of like you remember years ago, whenever Facebook was coming out,
right.
I was the young one back then, letting all these other agents that were seasoned,
right.
Know that, hey, there's this new thing called Facebook, and they're like, oh, I'm never going to use that. They're all now on it, but I find that they're still saying that about Instagram,
right.
and YouTube and TikTok, of course, and not really understanding and grasping the purpose behind it. So maybe could you explain that, or maybe share with us what you use to explain that to your clients to start implementing those things?
Yeah, I love to. This is like the analogy about being the big fish in the little pond, or the little fish on a big pond. So on Facebook, everybody's in there, right? So you're actually a little fish, and there's people with big budgets. And sometimes your things just will not show up, will not be dispersed like they should be. But let's think about TikTok, where maybe, let's use you for an example. Maybe there are not a ton of real estate agents there. And once you implement your things online on TikTok, guess what? You're going to be in the front of a whole lot of people. There's actually millions of people on TikTok. And those are actually, it's a younger audience. And not soon from now, they're going to start thinking about buying houses. They're going to start thinking about renting. They're going to start thinking about all kinds of things. And who are they going to think about? You, because you were there before anybody else. You're creating content. I like to say that content is king. The more content you put out there, the more you get it back, right? So it's, again, be that big fish on a smaller pond, and I think it'll pay off for you.
I agree. And, it's interesting because when you do go on, especially TikTok, I noticed how many doctors are on there. And there was a doctor that was featured on the news, and she was saying how it just really caused her business to soar because she was reaching, the generations that don't watch the news and giving them facts about, everything that's going around from, she talked about, of course, the signs and symptoms of, COVID-19, but she also, talked to them about, STDs and things of that nature. So they're getting
things that are relevant to those kids, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it was amazing. So listening to her, and she was older, and, I was impressed that she was really using that platform to reach that audience. And I thought that was amazing.
That's great. I agree. I think you should. Same thing with Instagram, although Instagram is becoming quickly, it's becoming the big pond, right? But you have other social outlets out there. And guess what? Just because you try a social outlet or a platform, it doesn't mean it's going to work out, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try it. The more you try it, eventually, I mean, there's platforms where kids play video games in, and they live stream, and you should be on those platforms because who knows what's out there. So try different things. 6 months from now, you may not be in that platform. Sometimes the platform won't even be there. But guess what? You're a pioneer of the platform, and you'll learn from what you did there on the other platforms that will work out for you. So it's always a learning experience.
And I find each one is a little bit different because their targeted audience is a little bit different. So some things that you may talk about on one platform may not work on another, But the one thing that I feel is pretty across the board is video is king, because people kind of, I have interviewed a lot of the younger generations, from millennials to Generation Zs, and just to see what they're in. I was trying to get in their head and kind of to see where they're at as far as social media goes, and they really want to know who you are. And so they love video, and they actually will choose their service providers on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok based on just being able to connect with you as a person. They don't really want to, go off it. They don't use Google and try to look at your ratings. They're totally different. I mean, especially the Gen Zs, right? It's a whole different concept that they think. And it's interesting when you look at it from a, psychological background.
Transparency is everything. They'll see right through you. If you're full of BS, they'll see it. If you're real and you bring out real content, you got them.
Yeah. So when you were talking about, some of the different platforms, what platforms do you recommend your clients to focus on?
Right. Great point. So I think it's different for a lot of people. Okay. So it used to be where Facebook was where you chatted with your friends, and LinkedIn was actually where you did certain things. So LinkedIn is still a very strong platform. And I actually think that LinkedIn is at a place where Facebook was maybe 5-6 years ago. And it's a very strong platform. It's a great place to be at right now. I'm leveraging it very strongly right now.
Yes, I agree. Yes. But what are some of these? So let's just say, you have someone who owns an ice cream shop.
Right.
What would your tips be for that kind of person?
Be everywhere.
Just everywhere. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should be on Instagram. You should be on Snapchat. You should be on TikTok. You should be on Facebook. And guess what? The content that you create for one platform is not the same content that you create for the other. So there's a little bit of work there, right? But you have to know how to make content, how that content is absorbed by the viewer, and then provide the right content. For example, on TikTok, like you were talking earlier, some of it is more silly and fun. And, you're talking about the ice cream, or maybe on Facebook or even on Instagram, you're providing more, hey, here's what the ice cream is. You maybe provide more information. So it's a little different.
And now we're talking about ice cream, and I'm thinking about how good that sounds.
I love ice cream, yes.
And that's the thing, creating those videos of having a good ice cream, like right in front of you, y'all, is the perfect thing. That's when people are going to, hey, you know what, after dinner, we're going to go get ice cream.
Make them want it.
Yes. So I guess tell us a little bit about some of the other specialties that you offer, as far as your services go.
Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a veteran, been in Pearland for probably about 22 years.
And also, thank you for your services.
Oh, you're welcome. And board member at the Pearland Chamber of Commerce. I am very passionate about the Chamber of Commerce because it just mushes very well with what I do. We help businesses, and I'm in the business committee there as well. And right now we're doing something where we're reaching out to the cities, economic development teams. Today we just had a feed where we talked with CEOs of different hospitals, and we were asking about COVID-19. It was just important to get the information out. So if you are a local business, I would strongly recommend for you to go and check out the Pearland Chamber of Commerce or your local Chamber of Commerce if you're not in Pearland, because that's the place where people come together to interact and talk about business. And there's different levels. What we've learned is there's different levels of businesses at the chamber, and we have learned that we customize the services based on your needs, not the other way around. So I love the chamber. And then I also own the Media Heroes, which is hey, Luke, I need a haircut, buddy. I see that Luke's in there.
Yes, I know. I think we're all dying. I love Luke. He's the best.
I saw your video, and I love the interview that you did with Luke.
Thank you. Yeah. So, So with you, and as you were saying.
So the Media Heroes, we are a media company, and what we do is we help our clients by providing different media and content that they need to grow their business. It's different for everybody. We do an analysis of your business. We figure out what we need to do to help grow your business. And as far as you're saying, Sasha, can you provide some type of COVID special, some type of things right now? The answer is yes, absolutely. But I don't think it'll be a blanket discount. What I like to do is understand what your needs are, and then we'll work with you and we'll absolutely provide a special or a discount to make sure that you get back. Because I know that everybody is struggling right now. Recently, we met with the economic development team, and we also met with local bankers to try to figure out how to help local businesses to try to get some of those loans and different things are out there. There's the PPP loan, there's the IDL loan. So we want to try to figure out what needs to be done to help you. So contact the chamber, contact different resources. Go to the chamber's website. We have links there with different information for you to look at that. And then also, I know that you're in real estate, and many years ago, I got involved also in real estate and real estate investing. So as you and I were talking earlier, right now with the economy going down, it is one of the best times to buy real estate, right? So if you're looking for an investment property, there are deals to be had right now. So back in late 2008, early 2009, I was fresh out of the military, and I was working for this company probably for several years, and we were helping this company called Lifestyles Unlimited, and we built their auditorium, and I was specializing in putting video and audiovisual systems there, and they taught me how to invest in real estate. So I actually cashed in my 401k. By the way, I'm not telling anybody else to do that. It's just what I did.
Right.
And I bought multiple houses. Rent houses. So we fixed them up, and all those houses, I have sold some, but I still have kept some, but they more than outdid what my 401k, which at that time was a 201k, was doing.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I have so many people that are always telling me that they could kick themselves for not investing back in 2008 and 2009 at the height of the mortgage, for a fiasco.
Right. Yep. And, I tell you what, I know I have a lot of friends that are bankers, and that it may be difficult right now to get the traditional mortgage or different things like that. There are other ways to do it if you're buying investment properties, and I'm sure you can help them with that as well.
Yeah. So let's just talk about that a little bit. So if you were, maybe taking someone underneath your wing and showing them how to become, an investor and helping them with their very first investment property, what are the things that you would, recommend and maybe help them with to get them off on the right foot? Okay.
So first things first, you have to have a little bit of money saved up before you start thinking about investing in real estate. Okay. You can do it if you have a partner who has money, but if you have some money saved up, you don't need a partner. And what I recommend is to have at least 6 months of whatever the payment for the house is saved up. So let's say if a mortgage on the house is $1,000, have $6,000 saved up before you start doing this. And then you can get yourself a hard money loan or any other type of loan. And some of these loans will even pay for you to fix up the house. I have been out of pocket maybe a couple $1,000s after closing costs, and I bought a house where everything was fixed up on it. The loan paid for it. And then I turned around and I refinanced it in a traditional loan after the house was fixed up. And I still made about $400 a month after rent and everything on the house. So it cash flowed. Every deal is different. You have to analyze it. And that's why I love real estate.
Absolutely. Most people have made their wealth in real estate. So, and one of the things that you brought up, because a lot of people listening may not understand what exactly a hard money, loan is. I have someone that does loan on a hard money loan. And do you want to explain that a little bit, Sasha?
Sure. Let me try it, and you can add to it if I miss something. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So a hard money loan is a non-traditional loan that you can get for an investment property. And it's a little bit higher interest loan. And what happens is they will loan based on the price of the house if the house was fixed up. So let's say you buy a house and you can get it for $60,000. And I know that's cheap, but let's say you get it for $60,000, but the value of the house, if it was fixed up, was $100,000, right? All the houses in the neighborhood, let's say all the houses in the neighborhood are $100,000. They will give you that loan based on the price of the average cost of the houses, or if the house is fixed up. And that might also help you on the construction of the house. And after you're done with that loan, that's a short-term loan, but it's higher interest rate. And after you're done fixing up that house, you can turn around and refinance it on a traditional loan.
Right. So if I were to go and say, you know what, okay, I found this house that I would like to invest in, set me up with a hard money loan, what would you recommend? Let's just say, because right now, in our area, it's very rare to even find anything under 100,000.
Yeah.
Every now and then you can. Most, people are looking to invest in a home that, if you're looking for, a lower priced home, they do exist. They're just, very.
I was only using those numbers just to explain. It's really hard to find houses at that price range.
Right. Well, and especially for someone who's trying to understand, okay, well, if it's if it's a $60,000 home, and I'm going to need at least $40,000 to do, the upgrades that it needs or the remodeling. So I borrow 100,000, but they're looking at the potential value of the home and what you could potentially sell it for. Correct?
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And and I'm just curious, are you holding on to your investments for rental purposes? Or are you actually flipping them?
So both. I think there's two different investments right there. So I call my rental properties mailbox money, and and then the flips, it's income you're taxed on. So you actually get tax breaks on your rental houses, where when you flip a house and you make income, you have to pay the taxes on it. So it's two different strategies. I love both of them.
Yes. And now, this kind of leads way into, what you do as well, as far as educating, with financial services. So
Right.
maybe kind of explain that, and, and how maybe if you were actually helping someone invest in a property, how would you help them on the financial aspect of the service that you provide?
Right. So sometimes people go, golly, Sasha, you do a little bit of everything. You're all over the place.
You're like a spider. You have your hands in everything.
Well, it's really kind of like a plan. It is marketing and finances and business development. That's all it is. So about a year ago, I was talking to my accountant, and I went out and I got my state insurance license, and then also learned a lot about finances. So we came together and we it's called World Financial Group, and we came together within that group. And what we learned how to do is actually help people and businesses with their finances. So when I first meet with people, I look at their finances. I make sure that they have at least 6 months of a safety net, right? And then we make sure that their family's protected. And then we get to the point where we even talk about, hey, how do we grow you into retirement with money that's actually pre-tax, so that your retirement is actually growing tax-free? Unlike a 401k that you have to pay taxes when you take out the money, what if you could actually grow that money? And let's say you can grow 20 years from now $1 million, and that $1 million doesn't have to be taxed when you take it out. So those are the types of things that we do. And you can actually borrow from that money to buy real estate. So that's kind of some of the things that we play with.
Is that using like programs such as like a 1031 exchange, or?
Oh, I love 1031 exchanges. So what a 1031 exchange does is it actually kicks forward the taxes that you have to pay for a property. So I can just buy a property, do a 1031 exchange into the next property, and I don't have to pay for the taxes on it. Eventually, you have to pay for it, but it can be quite a while. You just keep on moving the taxes forward. I love 1031 exchanges. They're a great strategy.
Right. I know, just because it defers it. I know a lot of people will do it and leave it in their will.
Right.
And, especially if it's an income producing property, whether it be residential or commercial, it might be very feasible to do that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of strategies. I will definitely get with professionals to talk about how to do them. You and I can explain it in a simple 5 or 15 minutes that we're talking here, but definitely get with a specialist. 1031 exchanges are great for real estate investors.
Right. No, absolutely. I think that's fantastic. So, on that note, again, I know we're kind of, jumping across the board with the video services and digital media, but, if someone, let's just say maybe they have, a limited budget, like we talked about, because of, being rough times, what would be the best thing that you would recommend for other business owners that are listening right now, you know, to do? Obviously, we understand social media, but you know, what if they don't have a YouTube page set up? And you know, what would you recommend for them to do first?
Right. So it sounds crazy because I'm not promoting my services on this, but at the end of the day, I want you, the business owner, to win. So use the most powerful tool that you have right now. It's your phone, right? And the camera system on it are great. Create content for your business. Teach people about things that you do. Educate, give before you ask for anything. Just promote what you do and create as much content as possible. Be on top of their mind, and you will win. There's just no way not to. So if you're a plumbing company, for example, teach people how to fix a toilet. Talk about a process. Now, because when they get to a point where they need you and they know they can't do it themselves, they're going to say, you know what, so-and-so plumbing company, that's where I learned how to do this. Let me call them. You will stay on top of mine.
You know, I agree, because you know what, it wasn't that, I guess, right before all of this started, my dryer, you know, or my washing machine wouldn't shut, like the automatic locking mechanism went out. And I watched a YouTube video, you know, on how to do it. And long story short, when I needed an actual plumber or to come out, you know, and help with things, I called that person because they had a video that I've already used.
They're familiar to you already, right?
Yeah, you know, and of course, you know, I'm very loyal to my community, and I'm always going to, you know, support my community as much as possible. I grew up here. I love Pearland, and I want everyone to flourish. It's a great place to live. And, you know, people here, you know, really mean a lot to me. Even if I haven't met you, your business, I'm sure I've been there because I've pretty much have been to every business. So, you know, but it is important, you know, for our community to keep these businesses going. And, you know, with that said, it's,
can I give a shout out about a project that we're about to do?
Oh, I would love that.
Okay. So I'm sure you guys have heard about First Fridays at the Pearland Chamber of Commerce. So it's the premier business networking event that we do. Obviously, right now, we can't get people together. We usually have about 100 businesses that show up at our events. So we're about to do a virtual First Fridays. This is going to be May 1st. And we are going to send out an invite. And we're hoping to get over 150 people involved. And we are going to create breakout rooms, virtual breakout rooms, where you can come in, talk about your business, talk about the things that matter to you, and promote what matters to you. And so will other businesses. So we actually want to put people together, and we're going to leverage Zoom and other technologies. So this is going to be on Friday, May 1st, and we're going to start at 2 p.m. and we'll go until about 4 o'clock. So be on the lookout for that. We're still brainstorming, trying to figure out how to do it right. But I think it's going to be, it might be a little crazy. It might be a little messy, but you know what? It will come across as other businesses connecting. And we're trying to just do a really great job at it.
I love that. So be sure to include me. That sounds right up my alley. I love that stuff. I love that y'all are getting creative.
Yes.
And, you know, figuring out ways. And that, again, that's what we do to grow. You know, whether or not you're using it for a nonprofit organization or your business. I mean, there's always ways to make things work. You might just have to really, you know, get your creative juices going, right?
That's right. I love marketing. I love having those creative juices out there and getting things going. So in Pearland, like you said, I've been in Pearland for over 20 years. It is my home. I love the local businesses here. I love the restaurants. I love, you know, our first responders. And I mean, every time there's a issue, every time there's a problem, Pearland just rises above. So it's a great city.
And it's, you know, and it's great that you just, you know, talked about that new project that you're going to be doing with the chamber. So I did want to ask, since you are very active, you know, with the Pearland Chamber, you know, what other things is the chamber, you know, doing in light of COVID-19, you know, moving forward as well?
Right. So the chamber is the voice of business, right? So what we do is we have different committees. We have government relation committees. We have healthcare committees. We have all kinds of committees that put together businesses. And we are talking to a company called Canon, and it's an entrepreneurial company. And we're probably going to be building a entrepreneurial center in Pearland coming up here. So we have a whole group coming together with that. Obviously, it was much easier before COVID-19, but we're still moving forward with that. So we're all about connecting businesses and helping our members run their businesses. And we are very connected to our government. We're very connected to economic development and our healthcare system.
That's awesome. I love that. And so if there's any businesses out there that maybe they haven't joined, you know, the Pearland Chamber for any reason, or even, you know, one of the chambers, whether it be Friendswood or Lake City, how would a business owner, a small business owner get started?
I think the first thing you need to do is look at their website, contact them, see what kind of services they have available for you, what kind of memberships they have, and make sure that they provide the services for you. What we've realized at the chamber is not, we're there to serve. It's not the other way around, right? So we want to make sure that we provide all the services and all the things that help your business grow. So just make sure that's happening if you're looking at any other chamber.
So when you talk about that, you know, serving, why would someone want to join the Chamber of Commerce?
Okay. So recently, we actually hired a consultant at the Pearland Chamber of Commerce to figure out how to do that to our businesses. How can we serve our businesses better? Because a lot of times you just have memberships and you say, okay, on membership A, we have A, B, C, and D. And membership B, we have these other services. And it's just a list of things. So we actually, when we talk to a new member, we find out what's important to them and we actually customize their membership based on their needs. So that's what is one of our major differences. That
is awesome. Yeah, I love that. Again, you know, since it's kind of what I'm doing is similar to like being a, you know, part of the chamber, you know, really just, you know, helping get exposure to, you know, companies and small businesses in the area. So, you know, I love that stuff. Yeah. So, you know, it sounds like, you know, how long have you been a member of the chamber now?
So I've been a member of the chamber for about 4 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years, something like that.
I mean, and it just really gives you, you know, a lot of people may not understand, but it really gives you an opportunity too to really meet and form relationships with other business owners and residents of the community.
Absolutely. And just like I said, with First Fridays, we've been doing First Fridays for about 3 years now. And every time we do it, every month, we have over 100 businesses that show up and just talk about what they do. And you've probably seen some of our video feeds that we have done. And again, it's just giving, right? So they come in, it's a networking event. I promote what they do. I ask them what they do, and we put content out there to help promote their businesses. At the end of the day, we want to see them winning. The more we get our economy going, the more business is there for all of us.
I mean, you do a fantastic job. I was watching some of the videos that you've done for one of the accountants here in Pearland.
Right.
And I mean, you really, I don't know if, you know, y'all need to check out, his website, and you can go to his Facebook business page and see some of the things that he's doing. But your videos are very, professional, very polished. Obviously, that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
But I also see the, as far as the graphics and everything. So you must really have a good team that you have hired to, continue to build a good business.
Right. Our team is all about professionalism and making sure that we tell the right stories to promote your products, services, events. So it's very important to create the right content because, like I said earlier, content is king. So we need to make sure that we get the right story, the right material out to help promote what you do.
And how did you get involved or get started with, the Media Heroes? How did that come about? Tell me your story.
All right, I'll make it a long story short.
Okay.
So shortly after the military, I went to work for a company called Industrial Audio Video, and they focused on building commercial AV systems. And they sent me to school, and I got certifications on how to do video. So we actually helped build studios like Channel 13. I did a lot of work for them. And then Texas Southern University, I helped build their TV studios. New Hope Church, I actually helped build a lot of their auditorium, a lot of their TV departments as well. At one time, I was actually an employee at New Hope Church. So it's just many, many years of learning video production and how to be involved with that. So after Industrial Audio Video, I started the Media Heroes, and I left industrial audio video, they became my #1 client. So it's great. No bridges burned there. And
That is awesome. Yeah. What a blessing.
Yeah. So I've been doing video for probably almost 20 years.
Well, you definitely have the experience. Yes. I love that you really just kind of everything. It works out. One thing always leads to another, which is fantastic. So tell me, since you definitely promote a lot of the local businesses, what has been your favorite project? My
favorite project. Wow. There are so many. So you know what? My favorite project was a few years ago. I'm not going to get political, but a few years ago, a good friend of mine ran for city council here in Pearland. And she owns a spa here in Pearland. Many of you know her. And so that was a lot of fun. So I was actually her campaign manager, and we helped promote everything that she did. So woke her up every morning. Hey, let's go. Time to go do something. So we shot videos. We created enormous campaigns. So that was a lot of fun. And that is one of the things that we do. We help people run for office with the Media Heroes. But I was really involved with this local campaign because she was a friend and I love her like a mother. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, that is awesome because that's also a big undertaking, running for, campaigning for someone, right? Yeah. So, well, that is awesome. And I know that you are now going to be starting a new podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So you're talking about a local accountant that you saw a video for, and you're probably talking about my friend Mark Anderson and I.
Yes. I wasn't sure if I could say his name if you didn't mind.
Sure you could. So he'll appreciate it. So Mark is an ultra marathoner. He just did 50 miles not too long ago, but we are friends and we talk about business a lot. And while we run, we are always talking about, hey, what can we do? And I don't do 50 miles like Mark, by the way. I
don't either. If I'm running, y'all all better start running.
There's something chasing you, right? Yes. So at the end of our runs, we start doing these live videos and we start reading this book. So we started reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
And Napoleon Hill. That's a classic.
I love this book. So after every run, we would go over a chapter and people start joining us and talking to us. And then people would come and run with us. We have our friend Jamie who ran with us before also. She's one of the higher ups at one of the universities here in town. So the more we did it, the more people start joining us. And then one of our friends, Rick Torson, who's a local guy here in Houston, he goes, hey, you guys should call this Business on the Run. So I can't take credit for it. That's Rick. He's the one that said it. You guys
I love it. That is such a fantastic idea and very creative. Although I am curious, how are you going to run and talk and all of that at the same time? Because I would be really winded. And you said yourself, you're not a runner.
Well, I am a runner, but we are not doing it while we run.
Oh, okay. Okay.
After a run,
you're discussing the book as you're running.
Right. So while we're running, we're discussing what we're going to talk about. When we stop, we turn on the camera and we talk.
Gotcha.
And that's when the audience come in. So during our cool down time.
That's awesome. That is such a clever idea.
Yeah.
And right now, I love when I really see people thinking outside the box. And right now, that's what we're seeing. So the people, like I said earlier, that are, willing to transform and, really commit to growing their business, during this time. We're seeing so much, creative content out there. It's been really fun. So I applaud you. So do you have a list of books that you have, planned, to read and discuss? So
I love to read. Think and Grow Rich is a great one. And I can probably turn my computer over and you can see that there's a library of books right there.
Yep.
So
I have the same thing. I love to read. Yes.
Yeah. So The Richest Man in Babylon is probably my favorite book. If you guys haven't read that, I listened to it. It's great, great business book. Gosh, there's so many. If you don't mind, after this, I'll share my list under our post.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Yes, because there's so many people that have asked about, different, especially self help or improvement that they can apply to their business, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of the ones that I've read recently that was very fascinating was the 12-week year.
Oh, wow.
And that was really good. I'll post that. But there's definitely some books that I've actually just haven't read in a while, and I'm actually going back to, like The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale.
Yeah.
Who happens to be he was a minister, and he's written several books. And anyway, it's been many, many years. It's been out for a very long time. So I just recently picked that back up. So it's always good. I don't ever give my books away because I'm like, I know eventually I'm going to go back to it.
I do the same thing. I listen to books multiple times, read them multiple times. I opened up my library. So let me just rattle off some names. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So The Thank You Economy from Gary Vaynerchuk. Love that book. Let me see here. The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. Great book. It's not about
that sounds really good. Yeah.
But it's about being, getting things done quickly. I always said Richest Man in Babylon. Crushing It. Another great marketing book by Gary Vaynerchuk. Good to Great. Really good. The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Everybody knows.
I love Robert. Yes, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If y'all don't know him.
Oh yeah.
And he also actually just released a new book called, Who Stole? Who stole? Oh my goodness. Who Stole My Pension?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because he's saying that right now that some of you may not enjoy this, but for firemen, police officers, and teachers, that their pension is actually non-existent because it was stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it sounds interesting. And I know that, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it was a great book. And, he wrote that, was that 20 years ago?
Very relevant still.
Yeah. So, and it's still a top seller.
I just made my 14-year-old read that.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. One more, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Great book. It talks about creating processes.
Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely share those, because I know people are probably, writing those down. So, we'll just post them on the, on the feed here. So you'll be able to read those. And y'all, if you're not a reader, you can download these books on Audible. And you can, sometimes, I've had some people said, I tried the Audible, but it's so slow. You can control the speed. And for me, I speed it up because I'm always on the go, and I don't like to sit,
Yeah, I drive a lot, so I listen to it while I'm driving.
Well, being a realtor, obviously, I live on the road, right? That's my vehicle is my office. So that is my best learning time too.
Yeah.
And real quick, you shared some fantastic books with us. Is there anything new that you have learned, since we have been quarantined, that you would love to share?
Right. Well, believe it or not, using the same technology that you're using right now, this or Zoom, so the company that I was telling you earlier, for example, World Financial Group, this morning I was in a training group with 90 people from all over the United States and Canada. So just using and leveraging technologies. I know that I have a lot of friends that own hotels or they're in the travel industry, but distance is not an excuse right now. That's what I'm learning, that you can communicate with anybody anywhere in the world and do business with anybody anywhere in the world right now at just a press of a button. So I'm trying to leverage that right now and just not be in the sidelines, just really be proactive in doing things.
Yes, I love that we're, seeing even older people, y'all. I mean, I have a great aunt who's 95 years old, and she probably knows Facebook better than I do. It is amazing, but it keeps your brain sharp, So, I'm seeing a lot more people, that maybe were not so tech savvy, that are starting to, they want to visit with their family, they want to visit with their grandkids, so they're getting on Zoom, and they're starting to realize that, hey, technology is not that bad.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes. Well, I am really just impressed with you, and I appreciate everything that you have provided us. And y'all, if you really are looking to grow your business, I know, videos. I can tell y'all, my business coach, always just preach videos. But we have someone here locally in Pearland who, serves the Pearland, Friendswood, Alvin, League City market that can help you get the exposure you need by creating some great videos that you can, not only post on Facebook and your business page, but on your website, on your YouTube page, get it on IGTV. There's so many different platforms that will help you get the exposure. And this is the company that you need to call. Here, all of their information is on the screen right now. So, and also in the feed, I have provided, the website information. So you can click on it and go directly to his business page, and you can learn about Sasha and his team and all the different services that he, provides. Or, go to his YouTube channel and check out some of the other videos. I mean, it is definitely a way to go. And again, it's so important that we support our small business owners like Sasha and some of the other guests that we've had on the show. So please, sprinkle this out there, because the best way to bring the awareness and the exposure, to help these businesses stay successful in our community is by, again, just spreading the word. Right. One of the best sources of advertisement. So any last minute words, Sasha?
Yes, if I may. So you're asking me earlier about content and what kind of content to put out there. So what I would say to business owners, if you're watching this right now, is not to draw a line in the sand and only say, hey, I only want to do short videos or I want to do long videos. For example, you're saying, hey, Sasha, are these videos too long? And I said, no. I said, keep on doing this, but also do short ones. And then there's other things, other tools like email. People say, is email dead? No, email is not dead. You can create actually campaigns with emails. So if you want to teach something, create the videos that we can put on emails, or create landing pages and all kinds of things. So use technology, contact me. I'll be glad to help you guys to run through this. And there are tools out there that we can even give you discounts on. But I think you should just leverage all the tools that are available to you right now to create content and promote what you do.
Well, that's it. Thank you so much. I am just praying that, this gets you, all of the exposure, possible so that your business grows and continues to be successful. So you can continue, to, bring us all of these other fun, projects that you're working on. And I thank you for your, working with the chamber. That's important.
We love it.
I appreciate that. And, y'all, if any of you know of any of the, local business owners that really could benefit from free advertising, give them my information. I would love to have them on here. Again, it's just, important to get the brand awareness and exposure. And I'm going to tell y'all right now that, video, I had no idea. And Sasha, you could probably back this up with live. I think a lot of people have the misunderstanding that, I should have thousands of people watching me live. But what I've noticed is now that some of these videos are a week old, it's like, boom, it's hitting. And now they're getting so much exposure. And it's so funny how that works.
Oh, yeah. So one thing about that as well is if you post a video out on any social platform, if somebody likes it or if somebody says something to you and then you don't reply, bet on you. Because if you're saying, oh, I don't have 1,000 fans, or I don't have 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 fans, I only have a handful of fans, that's because you're not interacting, okay? So you need to interact with everybody that interacts with you on social media. It's just common sense, right? If somebody said hello to you in public, you'd say hello back. Same thing.
Yes, be kind.
That's
and I think it's even more important right now with everything going on. It's even more important to be kind. So, but again, thank you, Sasha. And, if you, since you are so connected with the chamber, if you know of any of the small businesses that you think would really benefit from this, definitely pass my information along. We would love to have them. And, and if y'all have any ideas or anything particular that you would like to, learn about from our community, and what, we have to offer. And again, we're just kind of focusing, between Pearland, Friendswood, and Lake City. So, if you have any ideas, we would love to hear them. And don't forget, call Sasha, get those videos started.
Thank you, Jenifer.
Thank you so much, Sasha. Again, I appreciate your time. You are a genius at what you do, and I look forward to seeing your your success in the future. So I appreciate you again for coming on here.
Thank you for everything that you're doing and promoting small business. I think you're awesome for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Ditto. Well, thanks, guys. And we will see you tomorrow. I actually have Jonathan Haynes with Lennar Homes, who's going to be on here and just kind of talking about how they have implemented, virtual technology to continue to sell new homes. So that will be great and interesting for you. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.